one of the things that we want to be able to support you with is strategies. Gentleman just gave me a great idea right now about one of the values I think we can do at Lapa is to give you some strategies, right? It's one thing to come hear people talk and kind of get like maybe motivated, kind of see what they've done with their lives, and you kind of might want to put it into your life and see if there's a road that you can travel just like them. But all our roads are different, right? And so I want to give you, I just thought of something, I'm kind of pivoting for a quick second, but I want to give you a little strategy. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Damiano. I got started, I started selling at a very young age. I used to sell candy out of my backpack in school, sold CDs. Many of you probably know this kind of hustle, right? Growing up as a kid, candy, CDs, eventually got into the music business, was a DJ, started throwing raves in the 90s, right? There's a big gentleman today. He owns a company called Insomniac. His name's Pascal. We actually got started together. He's a little older than I, but I was going to these raves in downtown LA in the 90s, right? And a part of a group called Family. So I was a part of the rave community, got out of that, went to the military, joined the US Navy. While I was in the Navy, I flipped my first house in Redlands, California. I bought it for $72,000, sold it for $115,000, made $50,000. It was the most money I had, and one check. I was really excited. Bought another house in Redlands, flipped it, made another $50,000. And so while I was in the Navy, I made $100,000 on the side. And I said, hey, you know what? I should go do this real estate thing. And that's how I got into the mortgage business. My wife and I, we had the mortgage business, real estate. We added life insurance, right? So I had to figure out a way to bundle my services so that way the client that walks through my door, I'm able to help them in many different ways. Does that make sense? Now, I don't like to really promote my business as a multi-service business because a lot of people would think, oh, you're doing too many different things. But when we have the client that walks through the door, we're able to guide them to make sure that they bundle their services, but at the same time, be able to walk out with some benefits. Does that make sense? I got tired of that and I got into coaching. I grew up in a little city called Cudahy, California. Got involved in gangs at a really young age, so my mindset really wasn't, I would say, professional. I went through a training called Landmark Education. I got to see life from a different point of view. Went through all that coaching and training, went through another seminar program called Discovery. It was at Discovery that I really had my breakthrough. And I told myself, oh my God, how many people were stuck like I was on a point of view in life, but if you just take off of those glasses, you could probably start seeing a little clearer. And if you go through these experiences, you'll have a better understanding of what's being taught, so that way it becomes a part of you. I have this idea that I could take two people that don't get along, say a Palestinian and a Jewish person, or a Crip and a Blood. I could get two people that typically wouldn't like each other, but if you put them through an experience where they have to work together, at the end of that experience, they'll become best friends. Does that make sense? Because it's the experience that teaches people about life. Well, what that happened for me, I wanted to teach businesses. So I got into business coaching. So in 2012, I started a business coaching program. And with that business coaching platform, I took a Remax company from making $250 million to $450 million a year, right? I coach companies like Embassy Suites, different types of life insurance and mortgage companies. Recently in town, I used to coach a company called Veronica's Insurance, help them and their company expand. So the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because the strategy that this gentleman over here told me about tonight is this. I got together with a plumbing, it was a tunnel company. They built tunnels, right, for the waste. And I said, hey, you know what? Have you ever got together with a cardiologist? He goes, why? What do you mean? I was like, well, the heart is a pump, and there's a lot of veins throughout the body. I think if you got together with a cardiologist, I think it could help your business. He goes, oh my God, that's a good idea. I have a friend that's a cardiologist. So I followed up with him. He goes, oh my God, Damiano, the conversation was amazing. And he actually gave me some good strategies for my business, right? So I wanted to give you guys just a quick little strategy of how I do business, right? So I want you to leave here today to think about your own business, but I'm gonna show you how I do a little strategy real quick, right? So when I sit down with a client, I go over 5 areas. It's the same client. So you could kind of look at this in your business and see how this could be applicable, right? So when I sit down with a client, here goes Mr. Borrower that comes in, I meet him at Starbucks. I go over 5 areas of their lives. I go over real estate, I go over life insurance, I go over their retirement, I go over their college savings for their kids, and I go over an emergency fund, right? So when I sit down with a client and I say, hey, Julio, nice to meet you. First question I ask him is I go, do you own or rent? If he says rent, I go, how much do you pay for rent? $1,000. You know, it's a lot more than that, right? But I calculate how much it is, and it comes out to this huge number. I said, are you ever gonna get this money back? He says, no. I go, why haven't you bought? And they tell me the reason, credit, down payment, or they just don't know how, right? So then I get them to become a buyer, so now I have a lead for my loan officer. Same thing with the owner. If they say they own, how much did you buy your house for? $560,000. What is it worth today? $800,000. What are you doing with that money? The equity, how are you protecting it? What do you mean? Yeah, do you have a will or a living trust? No. Do you know the difference? No. Would you like more information? Yes. Now I got a lead from my attorney. So as I'm doing business for me, I'm also getting business for my sphere of influence. If I sell real estate, I got a lead from my loan officer. Now I got a lead from my attorney. Next question, how much life insurance do you have? I have none. Okay, most people don't have any, or they don't know how life insurance works. So I go over life insurance, tell them how it works. Would you like more information? Yes. Now I have a lead for my financial planner. Same thing with retirement. What do you have at work? Oh, I have a 401k. Do you know how it works? No, I don't. If I gave you a bunch of pennies and I told you one day this is gonna go into a tree full of money, where would you rather pay the taxes? On the seeds or the tree full of money? The seeds, of course. But the government wants you to save all that money to eventually add distribution. You're gonna pay taxes. But if you were to take this money that you have in your 401k and put it as a down payment into a fourplex, after 30 years, this right here probably yield a little bit more than what you had in your 401k. A portion of it, so you're diversifying that 401k into units. Right? Same thing with college and emergency fund. When I get to people in the emergency fund, I say, experts agree that you should have 3 to 6 months tucked away for just in case. Right? So if you make $5,000 a month, you should have minimum $15,000 put away as an emergency, or $30,000, 3 to 6 months. I go, do you have an emergency fund? No. Great. You're gonna go meet my friend Joe at Chase. He's gonna set you up an account, and we're gonna start an emergency fund for you. So I want you to get a little idea how I take one client, walk them through the process of getting real estate, getting a loan, getting life insurance, getting their, understanding their retirement, how to invest in real estate as far as units, saving some money for their college, and then getting them an emergency fund. Does that make sense? Yeah. At the end, when we close on their house, we say, oh, by the way, we have a closing gift for you. We introduce them to our partner, works at ADT, gives them the home, they take care of everything up front for the home insurance, for the alarm, and then we introduce them to our person that does solar, that goes ahead and puts solar on their house. Now, why am I sharing this with you? Because I know those of you that are in real estate won't even do it. I'm not afraid to share with you what my practices are. And because at the same time, I want everybody in here to grow. I want your business to grow. I want your life to thrive. I want your children and your grandchildren's lives to thrive. That's what we're doing here at Lapa. So I don't know what strategy you have for your business, but most people, when I sit down with them, they don't have a presentation. I do this presentation upside down. I could do it blindly. I could do it in any manner. Do you have a presentation? Does the people that work for you know your presentation? Is it duplicatable? So I want you to think about your business tonight, and I want you to say, hey, and audit it. Can the person that just came into my business, can he do our presentation? And can he do it well enough? Am I gonna put that person out there in front of my customers? And do they know the full service of what we offer and how we do it? So I just kind of want you to just think about your strategy of your business. And I want to thank you for giving me that clue tonight. Thank you, brother. Let's give him a round of applause because it's his reason why I'm up here.